Perfection in sports usually is limited to a snapshot in time. The perfect punch, or putt, or shot. Occasionally, it can be sustained for an entire routine, or race, or game. But in the NFL, only the 1972 Miami Dolphins were perfect for an entire season.
I don't know how many fellas in that 72 team remember this, but at one of the very first meetings that Shula had, when we all came back together in 72, he said our objective this year is to go undefeated. Did he believe that we were going undefeated? No, I don't think he did. No. But he did say that. And I remember sitting in my seat thinking, oh my God, this guy is possessed. He's the devil. In 72, we were so determined to pay attention to detail, to win everything, to prove to ourselves that we could, that we did.
In 1972, despite the ongoing Vietnam War and the Watergate scandal, Richard Nixon won his second presidential election in a landslide. Yet amid all the turmoil, a football coach graced the cover of Time magazine. America turned its attention to the quest for the NFL's first perfect season.
Shula addressed it nearly every week, starting from about 8-0 on, that we had to make an even greater effort to not get caught up in that. It's impossible not to get caught up in that.
Yeah, we'd love to go 14-0. I'd be, mighty proud to be on a team that's 14-0.
Don Shula's focus was on redemption, not perfection.
The fact that we had a chance to do something that nobody else has ever done still wasn't as important to us as being able to get to the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl. If we were 16-1 and that loss was the Super Bowl loss, that season would have been a failure for us.
First down, Dolphins at the Jets' 31-yard line.
Despite the talk of a perfect season, the Dolphins' actions spoke louder than their words, as their 38-year-old backup quarterback continued to lead them to victories.
How about that for old Mullins? They got him out of the rocking chair to play.
Which was a good thing, because Don Shula did not tolerate losing.
Back to throw. He sets up, fires the middle. Warfield's got it. 35, 40, 45, 50. Going to the 40, 35 to the 30. He's right down from behind the left fielder's 25-yard line.
For the second week in a row, Jim Kick scored the game-winning touchdown. Miami was going back to the Super Bowl. And somehow, the 16-0 Dolphins were 3-point underdogs to the Washington Redskins.
You know, you hate to hear teams talking about, they're not showing us respect or lack of respect, but after being undefeated and still being the underdog in the ball game, scratch your head and you wonder why, why us? Why no respect? What have we done wrong?
Why'd we play so well? Don't know. Maybe we were that good. For a bunch of no-names, we did okay.
Manny Fernandez led the Dolphins with 17 tackles, but safety Jake Scott, who intercepted 2 passes, was named the game's MVP. The Dolphins had dominated Washington. Now they were dueling with destiny.
Let me tell you something. The only thing I miss about football is about 5 seconds. 5 seconds in a huddle, right before you break the huddle and go up to the line of scrimmage. When you have 5 of the best offensive linemen that are in tune with you, Wayne Moore, Bob Kuchenberg, Jen Langer, Larry Little, and Norm Evans. And I'm looking across at them. This is the game where we're going 17-0. We're putting the final emphasis on a perfect season. Each one of them is looking at me going, run behind me. They're mouthing the words. They're not over. They can't talk in huddle because greasy. They're all pointing to themselves going, anything happens, drift to me. And Bob Kuchenberg grabs me by the face mask and says, "You better stick your helmet up my ass on this play because we're going in the end zone." When you have people that intent on victory, you got to just marvel. If I could go back for anything, I'd like to go back in a time machine just to live those 5 seconds and looking in the eyes of those men, because that was the most confidence I've ever felt in my life about anything.
In Super Bowl VII, Larry Zonka ran for 112 yards as the NFL's #1 ranked offense took a 14-0 lead. They reached out and grabbed a piece of history. 35 years later, they still hold their accomplishment close to their hearts.
It's the one significant thing that you can continue to guard jealously.
Ladies and gentlemen, a standing ovation for the greatest football team ever played.
The fact of the matter is, by going undefeated, we live on. Our ghosts crop up every year. When anyone makes it past that 5-0 mark, then suddenly the 72 Dolphins ghosts start to appear. And that's a hoot. I like being a ghost.